You know, watching the absolute calamity, over the past couple of years, watching the unfolding saga of Snow White feels a lot like being one of the lookout crew aboard the Titanic. They saw the iceberg looming ahead, sent a warning to the bridge. Though, honestly, they probably could have just shouted and then stood helplessly as their brand new ship crashed straight into a mountain of frozen water. It's the kind of disaster that makes insurance companies break out in a cold sweat. The point here is simple. Anyone with even a basic understanding of the film industry, or the legacy entertainment journalists still clinging to the illusion that their opinions hold weight, could see this disaster coming from a mile away. Whether it was the baffling casting choices, the attempt to pass off a group of random extras as the iconic dwarves, the unsettling CGI creatures meant to replace them, or a lead actress whose inability to self-censor made her one of Hollywood's most controversial figures, every red flag was there. Add to that the overwhelmingly negative reaction to every piece of promotional material, which was so intense it might as well have collapsed into its own black hole, and the outcome seemed inevitable. Now, at last, we've reached the final stretch, the days leading up to the movie's release, when the PR machine has to go into overdrive and somehow convince audiences to be excited for Snow White. To put it mildly, the studio has some serious hurdles ahead. The first and most immediate challenge is the grim box office projections. The film is expected to bring in just over $50 million on its opening weekend, a number that barely surpasses what the Marvels managed. And considering that film struggled to crawl its way to $200 million worldwide, the outlook for Snow White isn't exactly promising.
Hey, Captain Marvel for?
I don't know. Does anyone want me to do it again?
Yes, Bree, I want that. I want that with all my heart.
That's not exactly great news for a film reportedly carrying a $300 million budget. The second major hurdle? The much-publicized tension between Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, stemming from their starkly opposing views on the Israel-Palestine conflict. It's already a challenge just getting them in the same room, let alone sitting through the usual over-the-top press junkets where they're expected to hold hands, shower each other with praise, and act like lifelong best friends. At this point, all that's missing is some gravel-voiced journalist throwing in an awkward question about the movie's supposed queer subtext, just to complete the circus.
The gayest Marvel project yet.
Of course, questions about the art of cinema must be asked, but the biggest challenge facing this film, and it's a massive one, is that it's not even getting a traditional premiere anymore. Just a few days ago, reports confirmed that the movie's planned UK premiere in central London had been cancelled due to concerns over backlash against both the film and its lead actress. Oh no, how terrible. What a disaster. Who could have seen this coming? Honestly, though, it's easy to understand why Disney made this call. The optics of Rachel Zegler and the rest of the cast getting publicly booed at their own premiere would be a viral moment within minutes, and not in the way the studio would hope. But here's the issue. This is like digging one hole to fill another. Canceling a major premiere means less publicity, and less publicity means even less interest in the film. Worse, it's an open admission that yes, people really dislike this movie, and Disney has no idea how to win them over. Their best strategy at this point? Retreat and hope for the best. As if that wasn't bad enough, it was revealed yesterday that even the film's US premiere is being drastically scaled back. No red carpet event, no real media presence, and no opportunity for the stars to promote the film. That's a huge red flag. Red carpet events aren't just glamorous photo ops. They're essential marketing tools. The fact that Disney is skipping this step entirely signals that even they have little confidence in the movie's success. And let's be honest, putting Rachel Zegler in front of a live mic is about as risky as handing a toddler with ADHD the launch codes to a nuclear missile. She loves to talk, and every time she does, you can practically hear Disney's financial team groaning as she shaves a few more $1 million off the box office projections. What's truly amusing is how she's now trying to reframe the backlash as some sort of positive energy, like what Henry Cavill did with The Witcher, except without the sincerity, honesty, respect, charisma, or, frankly, any of the likability. I interpret people's feelings about this film as passion for it, and it's an honor to be part of something that people are so passionate about. We're not always going to have the same feelings as everyone around us, and all we can do is give our best. Fascinating. That's certainly a new perspective from someone who, until recently, had little patience for people who disagreed with her.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
The thing is, hiding a problem isn't the same as solving it. And the more you retreat from a controversy, like the one surrounding Rachel Zegler, the more you acknowledge that it exists, because if it wasn't a problem, you wouldn't be running from it in the first place. She created the Backlash. Disney has no idea how to fix it, and their only strategy now seems to be damage control. But here's the real issue. If you show a complete lack of confidence in your own film before it even releases, you're basically admitting to the world that you know it's going to fail. At this point, the damage won't just be limited to the movie itself. It's going to hit Disney's entire live-action remake strategy and, by extension, the company as a whole. Honestly, shelving the theatrical release and quietly dumping it onto Disney Plus might have been the better option. At least then, they could have cobbled together some obscure viewing statistic to make it sound like a win. Most minutes watched on a Thursday afternoon for a live-action remake of a 20th century animated film. Sure, that's embarrassing, but it's still better than facing actual box office numbers. And those? They're not looking good. At this point, it might have been cheaper and less of a headache to just remove Zegler from the movie entirely and reshoot her scenes with a different actress. It's Hollywood. Stranger things have happened. Oh well. Just like those Titanic lookouts watching the iceberg drift closer, there's not much left to do except sit back, grab a drink, and wait for the inevitable impact. One way or another, the next few weeks are going to be entertaining. That's all for now. You can go away.